Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader, Stephanie, and today's reading is about what will happen for you in the next 3 months. We're going to see the possibilities that are open to you within the next 3 months. We have 5 piles here for you today, but before we move on, I'd like to talk about a word from our sponsors. Better Sleep is one of the world's top-rated sleep apps that can help you fall asleep faster and wake up energized. There are some nights where I'm really physically exhausted after a long day or after an intense workout, but that doesn't always mean that I'm going to fall asleep right away. If anything, it may keep me more energetic and up awake at night. That's where this app really helps me in finding exactly what I need in order to fall asleep, whether it's something more meditative or maybe some white noise for the background, or even a bedtime story that can really help me focus on falling asleep. My favorite are the guided sleep hypnosis and meditations that can help you drift off into sleep and experience a deeper, more fulfilling sleep. Let Better Sleep help you fall asleep faster. You can use my link in the description below to try 7 days for free. The 5 piles we have. Pile 1, we have the black moonstone. Pile 2, we have the rose quartz. Pile 3, we have the dragonstone or septarian. Pile 4, we have the pistachio calcite or ocean calcite. And pile 5, we have the flower agate. So take a few deep breaths, think about the next 3 months, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the black moonstone, then we have your reading here for you about your next 3 months. We're going to see what the next 3 months have in store for you. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you click this video is whenever you're meant to see it. So it's 3 months as of now, and I'm going to start with the tarot, then we're going to get into the oracles, and then a mixture of oracles and tarot. For what the next 3 months have in store for you, I am kind of going to get a little bit of general love, relationship, and career, finances, and any other topic that may want to come through, depending on what comes through for you. So let's get started. We have the Knight of Cups, water, air. Very passionate energy coming through. Some of you could be entering a very creative moment in your life. You could be filled with inspiration. You could be very, you're moved by emotion. You're moved by that emotional passion that it's kind of like when you're inspired to do something. I feel like you're going to be moved here. This could also be romance for a lot of you, but I feel like mostly you're being moved by the heart. So we're definitely focusing on beautiful things here. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards, and then we're going to look more specifically into the months. Oh, and by cards, I meant the oracles. I think I said it backwards. I think I said I was going to start with tarot. I've been changing up how I do things. I'll start with the tarot, and then I'll get into the oracles. Some of you could be changing things up as well, especially when it comes to either a creative endeavor or your friendships or relationships, especially. The Knight of Cups, like I said, is somebody who's moved by passion. It can be spontaneous, but nowhere near as spontaneous as, let's say, the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords, where that's kind of like what you don't see coming. This is more like you're moved and inspired by an emotion. So we have noise. For those of you who are, I almost said magicians, musicians. For those of you who are musicians, well, maybe you're both. Maybe you're also a magician. You're being inspired by things that you haven't really heard before. This would be like using sounds or tools or instruments or even techniques that you've never really used before. Like maybe in the past, they sounded like quite literal noise to you, like you just couldn't get anything out of it. But it's almost like an awakening happens where you hear something in a different way. Like maybe you used to hate, for example. Maybe you used to hate how strings sounded. Maybe they sounded boring or whatever to you. But then you hear them be arranged in a certain way and it really inspires and moves you. So I'm getting a little bit of that. Noise also makes me think of the metaphorical noise where you may be hearing a lot about other things. It's kind of like blocking out the noise, not listening to the noise and listening to sound instead. Take whichever resonates for you here, pile 1. So the themes of the next 3 months. We also have soul. Yeah, it's a soul awakening. It's a passion. Something gets stirred within the soul here and makes itself expand. Yeah, I think that makes itself expand. It grows deeper. It grows I just keep hearing that. And then we have create. What did I say? Especially those of you who have been in a bit of a writer's block, creator's block. You haven't been very inspired. You're going to be very inspired within the next 3 months because something reawakens you. And this doesn't surprise me. I feel like changing of the seasons, which is happening in most places around the world right now, is prone to this, you know, like every autumn. Like, yes, we expect the fall leaves, we expect the cool air, we expect the pumpkin spice everything, but every year it hits us different. And for a lot of you, I feel like even if it's something that you've heard before, hence this noise, it's hitting different this time, whatever this is, whatever's inspiring you. We have heart, love. For a lot of you, there could be a heart awakening because I'm also noticing it in this card. There's like a little, this looks like a monster type of thing. I don't know, maybe it's the soul. And then inside is like this little human, and inside the human, there's this little heart. So some of you could be having a heart awakening. Maybe you're doing some chakra opening exercises. Maybe you're doing self-love rituals. Regardless, there's a lot of love within the next 3 months for you. We also have fortune and horseshoe. Interesting that we have 2 horses come through here. Once with the knight card here and then the horseshoe. It does make me think of luck, but it also makes me think of taking steps towards something. For some of you, you could believe that luck is just hard work. I know I do. It's one of those cases where you're stepping in tune with your soul's calling. You're stepping in tune with that which arises passion with you. The 13th and the 30th of the next 3 months could be important. And then back of the deck, we have elevation wings. Yeah, this is meant to expand you. It's meant to take you to higher levels. I'm hearing that song. Who sings it? Is it Creed? One of those 2000s rock bands. Can you take me higher? I'm hearing that song. So it's kind of like, how good can it get? How expansive can this get? For those of you in a particular relationship, especially if it's very spiritual, I feel like you're going to wonder just how deep this love is, just how deep this connection is, how far can you go, which is really interesting. And I'm not just talking about the love, it's more like the interconnectedness that you may have with this person. All right, let's get the rest of your cards and we'll move on to the tarot, where we're going to see more in depth what each month has in store for you. We have the spark of hustle. Like I said, some of you, you're getting to work, but it's not going to feel like work. You're not going to think of it as work. You're going to think of it as taking a step in a direction that you find joyful. We have follow through. I love this. You're keeping your word here as well. I don't know if you made like a promise or anything to anybody. Even if it was just yourself, you're following through. And what's your honest truth? Definitely the channels of communication are opening up here as well. There could be a talk about a relationship, a connection with somebody here. And I feel like it's, whatever this energy is, it feels very light. It feels right. And then we have your past supports your future. So I feel like you're going to be talking about the past and the future. You're going to be taking everything into account to take the next steps in whatever this is. So I really do feel like you're being led by the heart. You're being led by the soul. You're really stepping into some really great energy. I want to use this one. I wasn't going to, but now that I'm using all these colorful decks, anytime I see color will sometimes have a meaning for me. It's not always aligned with the chakra system, but yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, I used to see the chakras, like the traditional 7-color, 7-chakra system in that way until I learned that each chakra can have like a different color. Like the colors can be whatever you assign them. Like some people, the third eye will be indigo. For some people, it will be purple. Some people, the crown will be white. Some people, it's gold. Some people, it's, you know, like a different shade of purple. So I feel like, again, you're seeing things in a different way. You're redefining what certain things mean to you, or how you express yourself, or how you allow them to express themselves to you. We have rejection. Interesting. I think what sparks this more than anything, because I was getting this underlying feeling of either doubt or like a little sadness, is a rejection. Believe it or not, this would be like, let's say you get a rejected job offer and suddenly that inspires you to just do your own thing. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to start my own business, because either way I could just sit here and not make money, or I could do my own thing and have a little money trickle in and have the freedom to do whatever I want with that. So I'm getting a little bit of that. That could literally be what's happening for some of you, but that's just an example. Back of the deck, isolation. Mostly what this is doing is breaking you out of your shell. Some of you haven't really recognized that whatever you've got going on has kind of made you a little, I heard the word embittered. I don't know what that means, or bitter, I guess. Take that only if it resonates. That's not everybody, but this has really cut you off from the rest of society. I feel like you've been a little bit numb. I feel like you've been a little cut off. Like I said, you've lost a little bit of that creative touch. You've lost inspiration, but you're gaining it back within the next 3 months. If you haven't lost inspiration, it's being re-inspired within the next 3 months to do something more, to expand upon that which you already do in a way that you didn't recognize, that you didn't realize. So yeah, there's a lot of growth here for you. Pile 1. But with that said, let's move on to the tarot, because I want to see what each month specifically has in store for you. And like I said, whenever you watch this, we're going to start, you can either make it be the month you are in, if you're towards like the beginning of the month, or it could be, if you're in the middle of the month, it could be like the next 30 days, like whatever that is. Or if you're at the end of the month, it could be the next month. So make it fit your timeline, because this is a timeless reading, but I do kind of want to do a little bit of like what's coming up for you in the future. So pile 1, I'm going to start, let me get the rune oracles. So I'm going to give each month its little rune card, and then I'll expand upon that with the tarot. And I'll get 3 cards for each month, maybe more if I need elaboration. So the first month, we've got La Goose. La Goose is emotion. Like I said, lots of water, lots of emotions. The first month, you're in your feelings. You're deep in there. Some of you could have one of those moments where you're crying or where you're feeling angry. Whatever emotion you want to feel it, because there's no point in holding back what you feel. Acknowledge how you feel. Maybe for some of you, it would help to journal or to talk it out with somebody, especially if you have like if you already seek therapy. It might be important to kind of brush back up on, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Or even acknowledge how those feelings are hitting. If you typically feel sad, but this is like a new type of sad, acknowledge that. It's like, what is this development in the area of sadness? Or what is this development in the area of joy? Because it doesn't always have to be bad. Like, crying isn't always bad. We can cry tears of joy. So I feel like the first month, it's all about the emotions, especially if you're a water sign, especially if you got strong water placements like myself. The second month, we have, this is Sowilo. And I will get into the book about that. Actually, let me do it now. Because I don't want to forget. Sorry, it is not Sowilo, but it looks like Sowilo, because there's 2 that look similar. We have It Was. Yew tree, stretching in all directions, we find new depths of the self. Yggdrasil, which is the tree of knowledge in Norse mythology. Expansion, paradox, protection, complexity. Understanding that you are multitudes upon yourself. Even if you already knew that, I feel like the second month is really going to show multiple sides of you. Maybe some that you hadn't seen in a while, and some that you have never seen in a while, at all. I was going to say in a while. So you're definitely expanding. This could also be seeing different sides in people, especially if you're getting to know new people or situations. This could be like seeing a new side of somebody that you've been friends with for a while, and it's like, I've never seen you like this. So take it as it resonates. It could be you or somebody else. Interestingly, these runes look very similar. And I think, I'm sure there's a reason why. Like, this just looks like the upper half of this one, and this looks like that, but with a little developing line. So there's definitely character growth and character development within the next 3 months. Maybe like strikingly so. Because I know we're always growing and developing, but sometimes we can have like a lot of growth in a short period of time. And maybe this is why you're here, pile 1. Maybe you know there's going to be growth for better or worse. We also have Wunjo Joy for the 3rd month. So this one, we're definitely feeling that joy, especially those of you who have a hard time with happiness or have a hard time with feeling the self. This could also be your physical body. I think there's a reason that they chose this image for this particular rune. So I feel like it's happiness, but also the happiness you feel within the body or giving your body joy. This could be exercise. This could be, for me, it's dancing and yoga. I feel like those always bring joy through the body, or any other sort of physical intimacy for those of you who find or have a partner during that month that you really explore a lot with. So let's go ahead and get your cards. But overall, positive energy. So this first emotional month, Lagos means lake. Maybe some of you are literally spending time near a body of water, whether it's a lake, river, ocean, maybe fountains for some of you if you have like a lot of fountains, or like a big fountain near where you live. We have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, you've been too much in your logical energy. You've been too much in... The Queen of Swords is the least emotional out of all the queens. And yet she's also kind of... Water in general is like feminine energy, so queen energy. And yet she is also meant to be nurturing. So for some of you, there's this feeling that you're going to learn how to nurture yourself in a way that also kind of involves the brain. Like I'm hearing neural pathways or neural something. I don't know. One way to describe this, like, this is an example. This is what I do. I have Moon in Pisces. I have a lot of Pisces in my chart, a lot of water in my chart. I have no air. So one way that I do this without having to involve the emotions and like all that, for me, it's just a lot to have to get deep into my emotions. I just listen to binaural beats to boost things like serotonin or whatever the feel-good frequencies are, like dopamine and stuff. So I'll just listen to that. Maybe for some of you, it's finding a more logical way to feel good. And for others of you, it's just to really feel deeply without having to mask anything. I feel like sometimes and this is not medical advice or anything, nor am I trying to critique it, but I feel like sometimes we over medicate or over suppress our emotions because we don't want to feel them. But the truth is, they are meant to tell us something. It's a message. Our emotions are a message about how we are walking around in this world. You know, how are we experiencing life? How is someone making us feel? How is a particular situation making us feel? I feel like those are just our auric body's way of letting us know what's going on. Take that if it resonates, and I hope that made sense, because like I said, some of you are trying to be too logical about something and not feeling enough with your heart here, not feeling enough with your emotions. That's the general card. The love and relationship card. Okay, you got two. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Cups. This would be like the Ten of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune, oh my gosh, and the Ten of Cups. They're both tens, but they're reversed. Maybe some of you are having to be away from your family right now or your friends. Maybe something outside of your circumstances is keeping you away from everybody. So this would be like not being able to be at somebody's birthday party, like a big birthday party, or not being able to see somebody when everybody's there. This is looking at everybody online and seeing videos and pictures of like that gathering everybody is at and you're not there. So whether that's metaphorical or whether that actually happens, I feel like you're watching people have a great time and wondering why you're not a part of that. Take that as deeply as you need to. For some of you, like I said, it could be literal. Maybe you just couldn't make it to the function. And for others of you, this could be like, well, they've got that going on. Why can't I have that going on? It's feeling like an outsider. It's definitely that feeling, which is, again, something that might stir something up within you. Maybe you're tired of feeling excluded. Maybe you're tired of feeling like you don't deserve that same community that everybody else has, or being part of the family. For some of you, this could bring up issues with family. Again, I think of, like, I keep seeing this image of Facebook and seeing like all your cousins at the family, sibling cousins at the family reunion, and you're not there. And maybe you have good reasons to not be there. Like, I'm not saying that you should be, but it's like that feeling of isolation or feeling of it's like a black sheep kind of energy is bringing up something within you. So this first month, you're definitely going to be dealing with that. And then the last card, which is career or finance, depending on what comes through. If we're talking about romance though, and I have to say it because it's coming through, this would be like wanting the same things as your partner, or watching all your friends do things like get married, have kids, and you kind of like, you're happy for them. You're glad that they have it. and you don't even feel the envy, but you don't want the same things they want. And that makes you wonder, it's like, there's something wrong with me for not wanting that, or for having a completely different view on things like marriage, children, sororities. I don't know why sorority came through, or fraternity, things like that. Like it's kind of like you're wondering, it's an isolationist kind of feeling. But I feel like this is something that you have a breakthrough in that first month. We have the Two of Wands. You're definitely verifying your options when it comes to career this first month, because I feel like there's different paths for you, or you may feel like there are no paths, but there's something new here for you. This is Mars in Aries, and Mars in Aries doesn't just sit still. Like they can't. They enjoy having to take action. So I feel like you're going to finally make a decision when it comes to career and or finances here this particular month. I do encourage you to not have it be fueled by emotion though, and more by logic. That is one situation in which logic and practicality are probably going to be thriving more than anything, but everything else you're in your feels about things. So with that said, let's move on to the second month with the Iwas. Growth and expansion and knowledge. Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. Ironically, so this is going to be contradictory. Well, I guess not. I don't know. You hold on to something. The more you hold on to something, the less you will have. Something here has become a liability. So the more you hold on to something, the less you have. And this could literally, I'm thinking of people who own houses, but they spend more on like the bills, the maintenance, the upkeep, the energy to keep it clean if it's bigger than an apartment. Because yes, an apartment may cost more, but sometimes take a house, once you add in everything else plus the mortgage, it ends up costing more. So that's an example. I'm not saying that that's what's happening for everybody. Same thing with, I don't know, I'm thinking of like a car. I need to think of something other than physical. Maybe for some of you it is something material, but like certain cars will cost more because the insurance for them costs more. That's only in the US. I don't know how that works in other parts of the world. So, you know, like holding on to a car may not be worth it in the long run, or the maintenance on that car costs more. Holding on to something here is costing you a lot more. If it's not money, it could be energy, time, health for some of you. It's like eating certain foods. Yes, they're cheaper, but like long-term health effects could be detrimental. So this is definitely like invest more in things that are of quality, or go after the thing that makes more sense for you now. That sounded more like a finance thing. If we're talking about people, certain people, yes, you may have known them forever, but if every time you're around them, all they do is drain you and they haven't changed their ways, no matter how much you've brought up the issues with them, it's like holding on to some people cost you your independence or cost you your peace. And that sounds like relationship advice. Maybe that's just the whole theme for the second month. Let's get onto your relationship and friendship advice here. We have the Four of Wands. Again, this isolationist kind of energy. Maybe some of you for the next 3 months, you won't be seeing your close friends and family. Take that as it resonates. But again, there's like a function you can't go to, because the Four of Wands upright, it can literally mean like a wedding or maybe a marriage, but mostly like some sort of celebration. Reverse, it's like you don't feel like celebrating anything. You don't feel like being around people. And I think this is because of your growth. Maybe you're recognizing that certain people around you just don't have the best intentions or the best energy, or it's draining every time after you hang out with them. I always wondered this, like, and I don't know if there's any science behind it. And again, this is not fact. This is just my own opinion. So I don't want people coming at me in the comments for it. But I used to know people who, you know, they'd go out drinking and partying, and the next day they wouldn't have a hangover. They wouldn't have to recover from it. And I'd wonder why. And it's because they would not surround themselves with people who would drain them, people or situations who would drain them. And then there'd be other people who anytime, you know, they go out drinking, they would be around friends and they would just start talking about, you know, just some awful things. And of course that would be draining, even if all they did all night was sit around and have a few cups, because the energy that they were exchanging was negative. So I'm getting something along those lines. So maybe for some of you, you are kind of watching who you hang out around and who makes you feel good, who makes you feel bad after the fact. And then on to career and or finances. Okay, you got 2 again. We have 3 of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. So when it comes to work and career in the next month, you're going to be definitely partying or getting together with friends. Some of you could have, especially if you have friends that you work with, you could be having a great time. Queen of Pentacles lets me know that you shouldn't be stingy, or either don't be stingy, but also don't be overly generous. Something about the way you give. Some people could be expecting you to pick something up. Some people could be expecting you to pay for their whatever. Be careful. Be careful with that, specifically in the workplace. So don't go out there spending all your money on your coworkers or friends from work, because that doesn't seem fair. There's like a sense of fairness here. But maybe you recently, for example, if you recently got a promotion or a raise or a bonus, be careful how you spend that, because the people around you is going to make you want to either overspend. So don't be afraid to be stingy. I said don't be stingy, but I'm like, wait a minute. You may not want to be stingy. Maybe you want to come off as generous, which is always that's a wonderful notion. But in this case, I feel like you have to really watch out for yourself. All right. And then the last month, the 3rd month, this joyful month. Some of you could be getting like a spa treatment, or you could be doing something for your body. I'm thinking of a massage, but it could also be like a spa. I'm thinking of geothermal spas, because I'm just feeling the body feel good in that 3rd month. Maybe you start up yoga, or you go visit a sauna, because the body is feeling good. We have the World, the ending of something that you wanted to end for sure. And again, for some of you, it could be a very sensual month, not gonna lie. Maybe you meet somebody and, you have a great time. Your body has a great time. In love and relationships, we have the 6 of Swords. There could be travel involved. You could travel to meet somebody. Somebody could travel to meet you. This is also like anybody who's been needing to leave leaves, and you won't hear from them for a while. But this is also travel. So some of you could be traveling in that 3rd month, and you just have a great time. That 3rd month feels really nice, by the way, like whatever that is going on. And then in career, we have Strength. Okay, so this is making connections. This is learning whatever you've been lacking in terms of finances and career, you tighten that up in that 3rd month. So that means that you start, I'm hearing paying off debts. Maybe you start getting a bonus, and rather than spending it frivolously, you use it to pay it off all your debts, or you get a raise. So you start, getting your finances in order. I love that. Whatever you have to get in order in that 3rd month when it comes to either finance or career, you're doing it. For the majority of you, it is finances. And for others of you in career, it's like you're finally learning the skill set that you need in order to get your job done, or you're getting that education, or even like overcoming certain obstacles in the workplace that maybe in the past they were there, and now it's like, now you don't have to deal with them. But yeah, overall, the next three months are going to be very full of growth. And back of the deck, we have the 6 of Wands. And underneath that, the Lovers. For some of you, there could be some sort of ending in either a relationship or a friendship or a partnership. If it's something more platonic or non-love related, there could be an ending in some sort of partnership, a parting of ways. And I feel like that's going to be something that actually helps your growth here. So with that said, I want to get your final messages. I'm going to use the froggy, this little froggy deck for my pile 1, the next 3 months. I am okay with who I am. I am not perfect, but I am always learning and growing. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Learning, growing, expansion. The next 3 months will definitely highlight that for you. But this is where I leave it, pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the rose quartz, then we have a reading here for you about the next 3 months ahead for you. We're going to see what the next 3 months have in store. We're going to start with the oracles to get an overall view, and then we're going to get it into the tarot, where I'm going to do each month individually, and then we're going to pull one card for general love, relationships, and career. So we're going to start with the card you chose. We have the Eight of Wands. So things are moving quickly the next 3 months, which you may or may not want, depending on what's happening. If you're like me, you probably want stuff to move quickly. And for some of you, especially, this is meant to be whenever you get this, whenever you see this reading, whenever you click on it, it's that month, then the next month, and the next month. So it could be either the next month that is happening or the month after that. I'm not really giving it any particular timeline. However, when I'm releasing this, we're headed towards the end of the year, and those are the holidays. So for a lot of you, the next 3 months could be a bunch of holidays that kind of all run together, or events, if not holidays. I'm also thinking of like the end of a school season can come upon really fast. So whatever the next 3 months are, it's happening fast, but I feel like some of you are okay with it, or maybe you're not. Regardless, the number 8 could be important because I know this deck has the number 8 on it, but this is also the 8 of Wands. So for some of you, if the month of August happens to land within these next 3 months, then that could be important. Or the 8th of any month. Or you could be a life path 8. We have your past supports your future. We have fearless expression. You're definitely going to be speaking up more. You're going to be more vocal. And I feel like that's a good thing. Accept and receive. Creator alchemy. I do kind of see things just unfolding for you. I'm also seeing a lot of you tap into your intuition. Part of the reason it could feel like it's going by fast is because you're being led by intuition. Yeah, creativity, especially for those of you who are creatives with creator alchemy and creativity here. I feel like the next 3 months you could be creating a lot of things, which is great, especially if your job requires you to create things. This is having like an overabundance of ideas, which a similar message came through in the first pile if you were called to it. We have Vigilance, Scorpion. Again, the number 8. So maybe for some of you, the number 8 is like a specific sign. Or like I said, if you're a life path 8, that could be important. You also have Chance, Dice. You're taking a chance on something that you weren't expecting to take a chance on. But I feel like it ends up paying off. And look, back of the deck. Back of the deck is creation, Spider. So you're taking a chance on creating something here. What it is that you're creating could be different. It's definitely that energy that you have the capacity to build something as well. Maybe some of you are building something if the word create is too broad or doesn't resonate with you. But whatever this is, it requires you to speak about yourself, speak about your past maybe, and also to speak the future into existence or to speak about what it is that you want. We have Feel. I'm getting a common theme here, which doesn't surprise me. Anytime I do like foreshadowing or forecast kind of readings, it's just the planets, the astrological planets coming into play here. We have Change. I love how this book is empty and it's turning the page. A lot of you, you're writing your own story. You're taking control of where you head in life, desire, because you're acknowledging that your desires are different from everybody else's. And you also, if some of you have been withholding something from yourself for some time, I think you're finally going to give into it. It's like, if I want something, it must be for a reason, right? That's what I'm hearing a lot of you say. And this could be a particular feeling. Oh, it could trigger some people. This could be a particular feeling. This could be a particular lifestyle. There's something here that you want and you're going to go after it. And I feel like not everyone's going to be happy with it, but I don't think you care because it's like you're taking a chance on something. Something hidden, something that you weren't seeing, this could be something secret. Like you could start something that is a little hush-hush until it's either ready to be shown to everybody or you're ready to go through with this. So, and it doesn't always have to be like, I mean, I guess it could be a relationship that, you keep under tabs until you're ready to go public with it. For some of you, this could also be a project that is like a passion project, a project that has been on your mind for some time, but you're not ready to release it to the world until you know it's like solid, until you know it's going to be something that you are proud of. So for a lot of you, you have a lot of creativity. You've got a lot going on. You have some goals, plans, desires, because this book is making me think of a planner, that you're not really going to show to the world until you're ready to do so. The 8th house in astrology could be really important. That would be the house of things that are hidden, of secrets. It can also be the house of desires. For some of you, this could be a very sensual next 3 months. Take that if it resonates. I'm not really going to get into that too much in this reading, but just in case that was important. With accept and receive, I am getting this fair exchange as well. The past and the future, accepting and receiving, fearless expression. It's noting that your words carry weight. Also that even something so simple as a conversation can be very healing. That even something so simple as a voice can carry weight. So I feel like for a lot of you, you're diving into some deep energy for sure. I feel like you're kind of going into your subconscious. You're also doing certain things under the light of the moon and not really going to show it until it's ready. But I think there's a reason for this. It makes me think of a spider. I don't know if spiders create their webs at night or any time of the day. I don't know if that's relevant, but it makes me think of, you know how one day there's nothing outside your window, you go to sleep, you wake up, and suddenly there's a big old spider web. I'm thinking of that. It's like people won't know what hit them until it's finally there. That's the kind of energy that you're carrying into the next 3 months, which I actually kind of love. I actually kind of like this. It's like you pop up one day with having a whole new life, a whole new persona, a whole new business. Take that however you want it to resonate. So let's go ahead and move on to... And like I said, not everyone's going to be happy with it, but it's not about them, it's about you. So let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, because I'm actually really curious about your next 3 months. Maybe because there's like a mysterious air to this one. Because I'm not getting that you're trying to be secretive. It's more like people don't have to know. Like, people don't have to know about what you've got going on. It's none of their business. And you'll make it their business once you're ready to make it their business, you know? For some of you, this could be like keeping a pregnancy secret until you can no longer hide it, or keeping that partner secret until you're ready to have them meet the family. Or maybe you have plans that you don't really want anyone to know, because sometimes when people know all about whatever you've got going on, it can kind of ruin their energy, can ruin it for you, or like their energies will try to mingle with your energies. Like, I've definitely seen it where we've all experienced this, or at least seen it in somebody else, where somebody says all their plans and somebody sends bad juju their way or tries to put doubts into somebody, and it's like you just have to let pile 2 do this on their own. That's what I keep hearing. So this is going to be the first month, Fehu. Wealth, abundance, money is definitely on your mind. Maybe you're focusing on creating your abundance or money, or you could come into it as well. The next month is going to be Thurisas, thorn. So this is an obstacle. If not an obstacle, this would be more like, it's not a disruptive obstacle. It's like a pain, like a little pain in the side, growing pains, something that's you're going to be feeling something unpleasant there until you get through it, you know? So temporary pain, temporary obstacle. And the last month is going to be, I think this is Algies. And Algies makes me think of different paths or diverging paths. I'm going to read from the book for that, because I haven't gotten that card in a moment. Or that rune, I guess. We find our way without sight. Protection, intuition, connection, and initiation. And you know what's weird about intuition? If we try to explain to people our gut feelings, our intuitions, it doesn't always make sense. Like, there's no rational, logical, there's nothing you can really make sense out of it when it comes to our intuition, usually. So it's like trying to explain your gut feeling to somebody, or your intuition. Does it make sense? No, because you feel the feeling and you act on it. And it's like you're bypassing the brain. You're bypassing your ability to think here, because there's just like a gut instinct or reaction to do something. And this is kind of like how you're moving through life, especially in that 3rd month, where you're just taking a hint to do this, do that. Like, if people asked me how I got to certain places in my life, the only way I could explain to you would be through my intuition. And I feel like a lot of people, especially people with like amazing breakthroughs, or people who like provide a lot to the world. Sometimes they'll just tell you they had a gut instinct. Sometimes it was like their faith that the universe or God would take them there, would lead them there. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of having faith in the unknown, in the unseen. I think especially for those of you who aren't very spiritual to begin with. So it wouldn't surprise me if for those of you who clicked this particular pile, you weren't always 100% on board with what the universe has in store for you. Maybe you like to argue with the universe because it's like, well, if this is this, then why this is this isn't like you know, I do draw a lot of non-believers to my channel. That's okay, because I used to be one too. Not only that, but I'm friends with a lot of them, ironically. Yeah, I feel like this is having faith that there is something out there for you, following that intuition, following the gut feeling, the instinct, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like this is how the next 3 months are going to be developing for you. So let's go ahead and get your cards. For a lot of you, there's something here about psychic protection as well. But let's start with this first month. The first month with Fehu, wealth. It could also be cattle. So cows could be of importance, or anything that nourishes you, anything that provides for you. It could also be a job. Because when you think of a cow or a buffalo, you think of how much it provides for people. I'm thinking specifically of like a buffalo and the legend or the myth of Buffalo Woman, how she teaches her people how to use every part of the buffalo for certain things, like to use its meat for nourishment, to use the hide for clothing, to use the bones for tools. It's that kind of feeling. You nourish yourself. So we have the Two of Pentacles. Definitely balancing things out. I feel like there's a lot of balancing within this particular month. I feel like in general, that's going to be the theme of like the rest of the 3 months ahead. For love and relationships, we have the Hierophant reverse. So interesting that I was talking about the cow, and look, we have this Taurus cow. We have a cow here. So the sign of Taurus could be important. Also think of Taurian themes. So creature comforts, food, nourishment, things that are not luxurious per se, but definitely things that you need to feel comfortable. I'm getting a lot of that. When it comes to relationships, though, it's like, how comfortable do you feel in a relationship? If you feel comfortable within one in and of itself. I feel like for a lot of you, you're also, if there's a particular arrangement that you've only been clinging on to because of its convenience, I feel like that's dissipating. It's like you're no longer going to be holding on to people if you don't resonate with them. If the only reason you're staying with them is to save money because they provide something, because you provide something, like practical matters like that are no longer going to keep a relationship or a friendship together. So if the only reason you hang out with a friend is because, if the only reason two friends hang out is because one person has money and the other person likes to mooch off and the exchange is, the friendship, that's not going to be happening anymore, because that's not a completely authentic relationship. Now, if there is something more than that, like, I still feel like it's going to remain, but there could be issues addressed about the exchange here. The Hierophant reverse can also mean, the Hierophant in general can be seen as marriage. I didn't always see it that way, but lately it's been coming through that way. So for some of you, this could be something about a marriage that needs to be addressed. And the last card is going to be career and finances. We have the Emperor. You taking back control of your finances. For some of you, there could be a promotion or something about being in control. Like, you're definitely being given more control over your work situation in the next month. So whatever that means to you, like I said, promotion. If you already if you already had a company, this could just mean that you're being you're in your natural place, taking charge and kicking ass, taking names, etc. Not aggressively so, it's just like everything's under control. So I really do like this energy. So the next month after this is going to be about the same. Like, I don't think anything too crazy. However, the topic of finances is going to come through. Also, anything that isn't authentic starts to crumble. So the next month, the second month here. We have the Seven of Wands. You're really standing up for yourself in the second month. We have The Chariot reversed. For a lot of you, I feel like when it comes to relationships, there's like a reevaluation of what's going on between you and your partner. For those of you who have a partner, if you don't have a partner, it's reevaluating what you want and don't want in a connection. Especially if you're dating, I feel like you're setting your standards a little bit higher. I feel like you're just putting up with less. You're making things more simple for you, because why complicate something for somebody who hasn't even shown any signs of commitment or a willingness to pursue you in a way that you like? So I am getting that, especially the second month, because the Chariot is reversed. The Chariot is the card of forward movement. Reversed means that there's no forward movement. So I feel like for a lot of you, maybe you're even putting a little pause or a stop to the dating game, and you might just be focusing on yourself and focusing on whatever you've got going on. But I do see for that second month, you're no longer entertaining that which isn't moving forward, which is fair. But I do see you standing up for yourself. You're actually going to be very feisty in this second month, because we already have 2 7s. The month of July could be important. Somebody could be a life path 7 as well. And then for career and finances. Funny, 777. You are going to have an abundance of luck. Ironically though, all of these cards are actually, I mean, I don't want to say they're bad placements or bad cards, but when it comes to career and finance, be careful of what you're signing. Be careful of who is saying what, and what somebody here is not being honest, or they're hoping that you don't see something, especially with this eye. The 7 of Swords is, it can be deceptive energy, or it could be secretive energy, or it could also be in some cases like, I want to say carelessness, but I hesitate to say that, because I don't want you to give someone here the benefit of a doubt when they've been trying to pull one over on you this entire time. So in the workplace or in your finances, double check everything. Double check everything. Make sure you're getting what you needed. Make sure you ask the right questions too. This 7 of Swords will falter when the right questions are asked. I've noticed this because there have been times where I've been in a certain situation, and because I guess I must come off as stupid to some people sometimes, or maybe it's my voice because I sound like a child or whatever. But I'll ask certain things and they'll be so taken aback by the question, and they'll be like, what? And like, I start seeing them crumble, because my intuition will be like, hey, ask them this. And then I do. And then I'll start seeing, you know, grown, strong men crumble under the weight of a question that I asked. It was a simple question, but question everything. Definitely that second month, especially if you're signing something when it comes to your finances or career. If you're getting a job, make sure that you know exactly what the benefits are and what you're getting paid. If it's finances and you're doing some sort of exchange, or like if you're buying something, selling something, make sure that you are double checking everything. Also check your pay stubs. Like, make sure you're getting what you deserve. Okay, so the last month, the third month, okay, you got 3 cards. Am I meant to take these? Okay, so in general, okay, so you had hope for something that didn't come through, and you kind of wonder why. It's like somebody gave you a false hope, or you expected something to come through and it didn't. So do be careful with what people have to say here. It almost feels like Mercury in retrograde. I wonder when the next Mercury retrograde is. But I am getting this feeling that you're looking great despite what's going on. You're looking wonderful. Even on the days that you feel like you just can't put up with something anymore, though I feel like you're still going to end up looking really good. Or you come off as somebody who's very bright, like people are still rooting for you, even though you yourself are drowning in some other unspeakable thing. So I do feel like you're going to be a little bit detached. And the detachment looks good on you. I don't know why that comes through, because there's something here about your public appearance in the month, in the third month here. And I feel like for some of you, there's like a decision that you have to make, but like certain options are no longer available to you. Like, let's say you had a few options for you, and then you took too long and now that option's gone. So you have to make another decision between something else here. That's what I'm kind of getting. So it's like you're upset that something is no longer available to you, but now you have to make up your mind about something else. Let's get, or something doesn't get started, but you look good anyway. I'm hearing that, like something, you were supposed to do something and it doesn't happen. So now you're having to do something else. In relationships, we have the Magician. I see someone coming through. I mean, this could be you taking ownership of your love life. If you're already in a connection, this is you taking control of the relationship. If you're not, this would be like you getting out there and exploring your options. This could also be somebody coming in who has magician energy and that they know a little bit about everything. They're very communicative, very talkative. Somebody could start talking to you and this kind of like makes you feel something. The magician isn't just somebody who does idle chatter. I mean, they're good at it, but they also do deep conversation, deep thinking, I heard at first. So this would be somebody who, when they answer you, it's not just one word replies. They actually have like a whole thought process behind how they answer you. Not that they reply in paragraphs either. I feel like that's also like, on the one hand, I don't like one word replies to things that are not one word answers. And then I also don't like a whole freaking dissertation on one question I asked. And I was like, my goodness, that could have been a conversation. You didn't have to give me a paragraph. But this person knows how to communicate and you will vibe. Like, I like the magician energy because it's a vibing energy. It's like someone who just, you get along, you have similar tastes, similar interests as well. Strong Mercury, this could be Gemini or Virgo, or they could have like a strong Mercury in their chart that trines something in your chart or conjuncts something in your chart, positively aspects it. And then the last card for career and finance, we have the 5 of Swords. Interesting. I feel like this could have been the thing that you no longer had the option in. So like I said, for some of you thought there was an option, but then that expires or that goes away. And it's kind of like choosing the best out of a no-win situation or choosing the lesser of 2 evils. That's typically how I view the 5 of Swords here. So it's like you can't win it either way. So you're going to choose the one that's going to benefit you the most, even though you don't like any of the options. So I am seeing that. For some of you, this could have to do with like a living situation. I am picking up on that. So like, for example, an apartment, like maybe you thought an apartment would be available and it's no longer available. So you have to choose like your second best one, but you really don't like that one because of, I don't know, the commute to work or something like that. I'm getting something similar to that. If it's work, same thing. Maybe you thought a job offer was still available, but then somebody else gets that position or they fill that position. And now you have to choose the other job, which, you know, may not pay well, but whatever it is, it's kind of like having to do the best out of a tough situation. And then back of the deck, we have the 9 of Pentacles. However, the next 3 months, I still see you step into abundance. I still see you step into independent energy, because even though we do have like a lot of there's a little bit of bad news here. Yes, it actually is meant to empower you and to allow you to step into very independent energy, because whatever you're going through, I feel like could be a temporary situation. So the universe doesn't actually want you to set roots right now. It wants you to get adjusted and it wants you to balance things out, but it doesn't want you to set roots. Hence why this Hierophant is reversed, and hence why this 2 of Pentacles also showed up. It's like, get your ish together because we're about to go do something better than this. That's what I'm hearing. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes the universe will send you a ton of money and it's like, oh, cool, I can do this now. No, we're not meant to do this. We're actually meant to take that and go elsewhere. So that's what I keep hearing for a lot of you. And I feel like you're really going to feel that in that second month when you start realizing that, especially in the workplace, there's just no winning for some of you. And for others of you, it could just get trickier than it needs to be. So with that said, let's get your final card. And whoever this person that you meet in the relationship, I feel like it starts platonic. It definitely starts platonic, and maybe they have certain offers that you may be on board with as well. The number 7 keeps coming through really strongly because it's here 4 times. And then also the number 5, it's here twice. So your final card, pile 2, we have I forgive myself. Yes, I feel like there's a lot of self-forgiveness in this next 3 months as well. Because for whatever reason, I'm getting a little bit of a, I don't know, some of you might have a little bit of a come to God moment, or maybe like a renewed sense in believing in yourself. And it's like you start by forgiving the self and then you forgive everything and everyone else. So I'm getting a little bit of that for you, pile 2. But this is where I leave it. I'm sending you so much love, so much healing and clarity. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the Dragon Stone or the Septarian Stone, then we have a reading here for you about the next 3 months. We're going to see what the next 3 months have in store for you. This could be either the next 3 months ahead or starting with the month that you are currently on. This is meant to be timeless, so whenever you see it is when you're meant to hear it. Full disclosure, this is my second time recording this because when I was editing, I found out that, well, one, the second part of this reading was deleted or lost, and I don't know how. There was just a lot of weird wonky energy going on when I was originally recording this pile. So I don't know if some of you might have a lot of like little divine interventions or little tower moments, little mishaps. It feels like a retrograde, specifically Mercury, but it could be any other retrogrades, and I don't know if there is one currently when you watch this. So I would say be careful, because I feel like the energy for you, particularly pile 3, could be all over the place. It can work in your favor, but it can also just be more annoying than anything. So let's go ahead and look at your card. We have the 5 of Wands. Yeah, this isn't necessarily a card of disruption. It's a card of like having a lot going on, a lot of action, sometimes disruptive action. It says Saturn in Leo, so maybe some of you could be Saturn in Leo, and maybe that's having some weird aspect to something else within your personal chart. So let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards, pile 3. For a lot of you, you are having to do some sort of, it's not work per se, but it feels like things for whatever reason are just not going as smoothly, as opposed to like the first time I did this reading, I remember the flow being much more smoothly. And the second time around, there's like, I don't want to say it's a heaviness, but there's definitely like some baggage there. We have trigger. Yeah, there it is. A little bit of a trigger energy. This is just a warning, of course, to watch out for these things in the next 3 months. This is also for those of you who do spell work or who do any sort of manifestation, to manifest something easier, because I feel like I'm seeing rough waters for everybody, but you're in like a very sturdy boat that cannot be pushed too much by the waves, as opposed to everybody else that's like sinking or you're being given some sort of special code, special information that could help you navigate the next 3 months. And I feel like everybody else might be like struggling, or just, you know, they're doing something different and you're doing the complete opposite or something entirely different. We have breathe. We have breathe. Some of you could take up breathing exercises or anything that is akin to that. I'm thinking yoga, I'm thinking hiking, specifically like mountains where the air is fresher. We have illuminate and balance. Yeah, you're being given some sort of cheat code here in order to navigate something tricky. It could be literal. Maybe you have like a friend that helps you out with something or teaches you how to do something that you're not very familiar with, or this could be the universe granting you some sort of intuitive information that feels like insider information, but really it's just the universe giving you hints and clues here as to how to navigate this. Because I'm not saying it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be different. I think it depends how you view challenges. Like a challenge for some people is something that they like, and for others, people just don't like challenges. I think it depends how do you want to approach that challenge. We have Scarab, resilience. Yeah, you're being very resilient the next 3 months. We also have, oh, we got a lot of cards. So we have Serpent, transformation. You're definitely going through a transformation here. We have integrity, horns, and primordial, water. Didn't I just say something about rough waters? So I feel like you're being guided to navigate the next 3 months in a very particular way. And I feel like you're going to find a lot of good luck in it. Even if it doesn't make sense at first, you may be guided to, for example, let's say you're traveling and typically you travel by car, but the universe is like, no, travel by plane. And you're like, but why? And then you find out that one, it ends up costing the same in terms of like gas and maintenance or whatever, parking. And 2, you have an easier time not being at the wheel of a car, you know, for hours and hours, as opposed to just being on a plane where somebody else is directing and driving you somewhere or flying you somewhere. I'm getting something similar to that. The image I'm being shown is like traffic, and sometimes I'll do this a lot because where I lived, all traffic flows the same way and everybody leaves at the same time and everybody takes the same roads. But sometimes I'll just do some quirky little weird turnaround at a particular stop sign, or I'll just, you know, I'll take little hints here and there and I'll bypass like more than half that traffic because everybody is on some weird little hamster wheel of doing the same thing day in, day out. Their brain isn't even functioning. They're just on zombie mode. And I'm over here like, how do I get from point A to point B faster? And I'll just have like the gut instinct to go a different way. And I'm getting something very similar for a lot of you. The amount of times I've done this, especially like when I'm walking. When I'm walking, I will take the weirdest paths. I don't care who's looking at me. I don't care. Unless somebody's there to stop me, it's like, I'm going to cut across here. I'm going to go this way. I would rather take the stairs than an elevator or an escalator. Even if I'm carrying a bunch of heavy things. Heck, I like it because then I get that extra workout in. I'm that weird person. Just ask my family when I've been to Europe. I will carry my entire luggage up the stairs rather than take the tiny, tiny elevators that they have. Because at first I didn't trust them. They were just so... They look janky to me. I mean, in the US we have the more... I guess they're just bigger elevators, but I don't know. But I got used to it. Anyway, I'm getting something similar here for you. Pile 3. We have, what do you really want? Changemaker, make waves. See, I keep telling you, you're navigating rough waters in an easier way than everybody else because you're actually the one making the waves. Or it's going to appear that way. People may ask you a lot for advice that typically they don't ask for. Or you may just be doing something different, and I get this energy a lot where people see you doing something and it's that natural envy. It's like, oh, look at that person doing that thing. I'm going to ask them how they do that thing. Almost as if they couldn't imagine having to do something for the first time on their own, or being they only feel like someone can do it because somebody else taught them how to do it. I think some people just don't know how to look for things for themselves, or how to Google things. So I'm getting a little bit of that. And sometimes to me that energy can come off as a little draining. So be careful to protect yourself from people who see you doing well and they kind of want to get in that same boat with you. But the truth is, unless they're also giving you something, I wouldn't give them that particular... I wouldn't just let them ride for free, you know? I feel like there has to be an exchange of something there just to make it fair to you. And that particular message, I do remember being in the original pile 3 that I recorded. In fact, that's the message that got lost. I think that was in the second half of it, which I was looking for. But anyway, let's get the rest of your cards. We have consciousness. Yeah, you're very connected to source this month, or at the very least, you're going to be connected to your intuition enough that you're going to be hearing these messages. You're going to be getting these gut instincts, even if you typically aren't very, even if you're not very intuitive. I feel like the next 3 months, you will be, for better or worse. Creativity. Every single pile has gotten this, so there's going to be a huge creative energy the next 3 months for everybody who clicks this video, I guess, which is great. I feel like a lot of you may be creators yourself, content creators or artistic people. Whatever it is that you create, you can have an abundance of it. And movement, yeah. There's going to be, like I said, there's a lot of action, a lot of activity. For those of you who don't know how to sit still, it's going to be a great 3 months because you're going to have plenty to do. And then the back of the deck, we have happiness. Yes, I love this. Absolutely love this. I feel like you will be happy within the next 3 months. There's going to be a joyous energy for sure. What else needs to come through? With integrity, again, and the transformation. I mean, we're always transforming, but I feel like this particular transformation is bringing to mind what you're made of. It's like you're very resilient, you're very strong. You're also capable of balancing out certain things within yourself. It's like if you typically get triggered by certain things, you're learning how not to be, or you're learning to handle and deal with certain things in a much more positive way. It's transmuting energy as well, is what I'm getting with this transformational energy. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to your tarot, because I want to see more specifically what the next 3 months have in store for you. So for pile 3, we're going to do 3 months. And like I said, these months could be the next 3 months, or it could be any 3 months that you're thinking of. Take it how it resonates. And I'm also going to do general, love, relationship, and career within these 3 months. So we're going to get 1 room card for each month of yours. pile 3, we have, first month, we have Nautis, which is funny. I have a particular deck that shows this rune with people in boats. Maybe some of you are literally getting in a boat. I don't know, maybe you're kayaking or you're going on a cruise or whatever. Maybe you're riding a boat and that's going to be transformational. I'm thinking of those boats in Mexico, Las Canchas. What are they? I don't know what their actual name is, but you know, the ones with like all the little, with the mariachis in there and the flowers. Maybe some of you are riding those. The second month we have Raido, which is a journey. So there could literally be some travel involved for a lot of you within the next 3 months. More so than the other piles anyway. And we have Othala, which is inheritance and can also mean family or the things that we inherit from our family. Some of you could be traveling to meet family, especially at the time that I'm releasing this. I'm releasing this during September, or recording it during September, and we're about to head into those holiday months in the US at least, where, you know, there's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all of those, which usually call for people to travel to meet family. So regardless, maybe you're traveling somewhere for a particular reason to meet family, and this could be for like an entire 3 months. I know people who do that, especially those of you who take like really, really long trips. The longest I've had to be in was like, I think 9 hours. I don't know how anyone does that. My poor butt. My poor butt. How do your butt survive like 9 hours on a plane? I'll never understand. Back of the deck, we have Urus, strength. Yeah, a lot of you, you're leveling up these next 3 months. You're gaining strength, both external and internal. So let's go ahead and get your cards, pile 3. And if you are traveling, let me know where, because that's always fun. So for the first month with Nautis here, Nautis is it makes me think of an SOS. It makes me think of a need, or like, it's not danger. It's more of a scarcity mentality. Let me read from the book to see exactly what it has to say. But usually it's needing to beware. Again, some of you could be taking a detour here. We have need, friction, necessity, harsh lessons, reality, and revolution. So this could be like this is like having to leave because you need to. So maybe some of you may urgently need to leave somewhere, or you may urgently need to go somewhere. It's kind of like a call to action. And typically it's in a bad light, but for a lot of you, it could also be something positive. I'm thinking, not that I'm wishing this on anybody, but for those of you who know, you will know, like when a parent suddenly passes away, or you've been knowing that they're going to pass away and it just happens, you know, at random. You know, you can't plan for when they leave. So you get the call one morning or one night, and the next day you're on that plane to wherever they are. I'm getting something similar to that. If not, it could be anything else. But usually this is something necessary. I'm also thinking of like giving birth, you know. It's like you never know when the baby's coming. You have a idea, a window of when it is, but once it happens, and you're rushing on the way to the hospital, and then you call, you know, your mom, your dad, or whoever's involved, and they come over to the house to help you out for the day or something like that. I'm getting something similar to that, where like, especially with Othala here. Othala, how do you pronounce this? Maybe the play Othello is important to somebody here, but it's I feel like for a lot of you, family is involved in this journey that you are taking. So let's get your cards. For some of you, it could be a job. Maybe you get a job and within the next week, they're telling you to go move somewhere, and it's paid for, but it's very sudden. So we have, for the general, we have the Hanged Man, change in perspective, or maybe you were very hesitant or reluctant to see this change in perspective, but now that you do, it makes sense. In love and relationships, we have the Three of Swords. So I feel like there's been a misunderstanding between you and somebody. If you're currently dating someone, or if you're just, you know, interested in someone, I feel like you thought it was the end of something, but it turns out it's not, or there could just be some miscommunications, or I wouldn't say they're conflicts. They're just like misunderstandings. I keep getting that, because the Three of Swords would be like you thought somebody hated you, and it turns out they don't. They just, you know, they've got something else going on. So it's a little complicated when it comes to love and relationships, but I don't see that being the forefront of that particular month, because like I said, for a lot of you, you'll be focusing on other things. Maybe you're the one who's giving the confusing, conflicting energy, and you have to explain this to whomever you're with. And career and finance. So it's definitely a great month to get started on certain projects. It's a great month to start investing. Specifically, quick action leads to more money somehow. Another way of seeing this is I'm hearing good luck. Like maybe you get like a great stroke of luck when it comes to having to spend on something. Again, I'm thinking of traveling. It's like buying that last minute plane ticket, but because it's the last seat, maybe they give you a great discount, something along those lines. Or it could be like you find the exact thing that you need on sale in your size, and it's literally the last of it, or like the only thing of it. The amount of times that happens to me, that is one of my weirdest lucky things that I've had my whole life. The amount of times I've gone into a store in the clearance section and I find exactly what I want at a great price, in my size, in my favorite color, or the exact thing I need. It literally happened last week with a jersey, a Mexico jersey, and I don't live in Mexico. I live over here. And it was like, it was in my size, and it was like, God, what, 80% off? It was something crazy like that. And I was like, my goodness. I swear, go shopping with me. You'll find exactly what you need. That is one thing I bring to the table. So anyway, but I feel like something similar may happen in terms of finance. If it's career, again, start new projects and new ideas. They will take off. They're very well blessed this month when it comes to your money and career. The second one with Rido, this is the journey, the traveling card. We have the Hierophant reverse. I'll come back to that. Like I said, I keep saying that you're going to be told to do something in an unconventional way, and it's going to help you out. It's like taking the road less trodden. It's taking a weird detour that nobody else sees, even though it's right there. Because sometimes people just follow the crowds. They follow what everybody else is doing, not because they think for themselves, but because they see everybody else doing it. Therefore, they do it. It's like, you know, when people start a line at random in the middle of nowhere, and then people will just start lining up, even though they don't know what they're lining up for. It's like, break out of that. I feel like for this particular next season of you, pile 3, we can't be looking at what everybody else is doing. Forget that. Look at what you're doing and follow your own gut instinct, because everybody else's gut instinct is not as attuned as yours is. In love and relationship, we have the 6 of Swords. So there's something about a long distance relationship. For those of you already in a relationship, like I said, this miscommunication and this long distance thing could be the same thing. If not, this could be friends moving away or you moving away from friends. I feel like there's definitely a distant energy when it comes to relationships for the next 3 months, or at least these first 2 months. But this does mean that at the very least, there's going to be more communication if the bond is strong. If it's not, then there's going to be, well, you'll find out with the communication that you get from the people around you. In career and finance, we have the 2 of Cups. You're going to be making new friends, new contacts, new colleagues when it comes to your finances and career. This would mean like you meet new people that help you make more money. You find new collaborators. You get new coworkers that you truly vibe with. So it's a great month to be marketing, to be networking for sure. I guess workplace romance, if that's appropriate for some of you, but that's only if you already kind of had something going on there. And for some of you, this could just be getting closer to somebody at work, like actually becoming their friend as opposed to just being a coworker, which does happen depending on how long you work with people and how well you vibe together. And then the last month, the 3rd month, Five of Swords. I just see things, for whatever reason, I see these next 3 months, you're going to come in very pessimistically. You're going to see everything being a little bit of a shit show. But then it's like the more you let yourself think about it, the more you let yourself sit with it, the more you learn how to navigate it. Again, this has to be my pile of people who enjoy a good challenge, or you like to overcome certain struggles. I'm getting like either a moon in an air sign, specifically moon in Aquarius, or maybe you just like a good challenge, even in life. Which, let me just go ahead and tell you, pile 3, life doesn't have to be hard. But if it insists on being hard, I feel like you will rise up to the challenge. It's like, yeah, nothing can bring me down. That's kind of silly. So I like that mentality, but at the same time, don't be afraid to allow life to be easy, pile 3. So yeah, I feel like this entire season for you, these next 3 months, you're going to learn how to overcome obstacles. Particularly this 3rd month. In love and relationships, we have the King of The King of Wands. Okay, two ways to take this. If you identify as somebody who's rather controlling in relationships, you're going to learn to let go of control. Especially, I'm hearing like a let love and let God kind of energy. Like you just allow things to happen. You're not putting, it's not that you're not putting effort in relationships, but it's very much one of those things where if you don't have the time to be pouring into relationships, you're going to see who shows up for you. Same thing with friendships. Another way of seeing this, if you're typically attracted to people who are a little bit more controlling or feisty in relationships, they're going to start showing up for you in weird ways that you weren't expecting. It's like you're going to see either a vulnerable side of them, or they might just end up leaving your life for good. I think it depends what it is that you expect of them. It's like either they show up or they don't show up at all. Because this kind of gives a little bit of narcissistic energy. Usually from your partner. It's not so much from you or anything. But it's more like whoever isn't meeting your standards, whoever isn't living up to what you need, they're not going to be in your life for very long. So that's just a warning, especially those of you who are dating right now. I don't feel like it's anything solid. I feel like for a lot of you, you're more detached than anything from love and relationships. And this could also be friends, of course. So somebody could be like letting you go, especially if you have that one ex who likes to come around a lot, or who refuses to let you go, or who chats you up every so often. I feel like you're going to start seeing that less and less, or they're finally going to be gone for good. And then in career and finance, we have the 10 of Cups. So for whatever reason, the workspace is actually a really great place for you the next 3 months. Especially, I mean, if you work from home, if you are self-employed, or if you run your own business, this makes sense. It's like you're able to bring a lot of great positive energy into it. If you have a particular workplace, I feel like they're going to show up for you. I think especially people who have known you for a long time, or those of you who have kind of grown with the business. Like if you've been somewhere for over several years, it almost becomes like I hesitate to say a second family because that's not fair, but it kind of is. For some of you, I feel like you're lucky enough to have a workplace where it's actually not that bad. And then back of the deck, we have the 9 of Pentacles, which I feel like for a lot of you, you've been going at it alone for far too long, and you're going to get signs this particular season, because it is a season for you, that you don't have to. I feel like there's going to be people who show up for you. There's going to be people who are truly friends that want to help you out to make things easier and better, and maybe even to let loose and have fun. If not friends, it could also be family. So the next 3 months, regardless of what life throws at you, you're going to be just fine. And I feel like this is confirmed with this 9 of Pentacles card. So with that said, let's get your last card, pile 3. Your advice card, your froggy card. We have, I am as worthy of my dreams as everyone else. Exactly. You deserve to have your dreams. You're worthy of your dreams. Whatever you want, you can make it happen. And I just feel like you're going to be full of rewards this particular month. I feel like it doesn't seem that way. You might be busy with other things, but I feel like there's a lot of little hidden surprises that are going to end up being a lot of fun. But this is where I leave it, pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the pistachio calcite, or I think sometimes they also call it ocean calcite, then we have your reading here for you about the next 3 months. We're going to see what the next 3 months have in store for you. This is meant to be a timeless reading, so whenever you come upon this video, you can start from there. So it could either be the month you're currently in plus the next 2, or it could be the next month and then the other 2 after that. However you want to cater this to you, you can just make it fit how it fits. So we're going to start with the oracles to get an overview of themes, and then we're going to get into the actual months ahead. So for you, we have the Knight of Pentacles, Earth and Air. So there's definitely been something in the works. I feel like you will continue whatever you've been going through for the past, let's say, a few months or even the year. You will continue with that, especially if you've been working towards something. I feel like this is progress. Slower progress than you may like, but sure and steady progress, especially for those of you who like to do things thoroughly, for those of you who like to make sure that you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's for sure. It's giving, it says Earth and Air, so I feel like Virgo energy is really strong here, maybe Capricorn. And I guess Taurus. But definitely, also, I'm just now noticing this horse has antlers. Like, it's giving jackalope. I kind of love that. I kind of love that little horse with antlers, but not a reindeer. I like it. So pile 4. We have inflow with money. So yeah, if you're focusing on your finances, it's going to be a great 3 months to focus on finances. Sorry, not finances. Not finances, whatever those are. If you're looking for a fine man with money, maybe that will be something available for you as well, pile 4. We have gratitude again. And creator fire. So you're going to create something, or you're going to step into an energy that is allowing abundance in. It's allowing either a new inflow of money, a new inflow of resources for a lot of you, or it could just be getting something that you've needed or wanted. I'm thinking of like either a car or a apartment, something where that helps your stability. It helps you stay consistent with whatever you need to do. This could also be focusing on work, especially those of you who do freelance work, or anything like I'm thinking of like DoorDash and Uber and stuff like that, where it's all depending on how much effort you put into this. Like, you're going to be putting in the effort and getting just as much in return, and hopefully more. I am seeing a lot of that for you. Very abundant energy. We have magic happens when you most expect it. It's also reminding you to make space for that which you want to come into your life, whether that is, again, money, or that could also be, again, a job. Like maybe some of you are looking for a specific type of career or job that allows you to live the life you want. So it's kind of like start living the life you want, and you will start seeing that job appear for you. I know that's not going to be for everybody, and it all depends on your circumstances. And I know some of you don't want to work. I remember in some career reading, somebody said, I don't want a job. I don't want to work. And I'm like, okay, then don't. Like, I don't know. I always think of that comment to this very day. I'm like, yeah, I guess nobody, it's great that you don't want a job, but why were you at a career tarot reading if that was the case? I don't know. But regardless, it's making room for the things that you want and things that you need. So let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. But for a lot of you, this could be my pile of people who, even if you don't need to work, you would, because you need to find something to do with yourself, or you like to give back to society. Some of you could have a field in like, I'm thinking of a job that is outdoors, so anything where you're like working with plants or working, maybe gardening, or if you work in like a farm, or even just like in the forests in a natural reserve or something. It's like your way of guarding the earth, which I love. This makes me think of Parks and Rec, so maybe some of you work in something similar. We have celebrate. I was getting a celebratory kind of energy, because the energy I'm picking up here is like, you know how when you go to a party and you're just very social and talkative? That's what I'm getting. So even if you're not going to a party, I feel like there will be something very social here for you. You could be very outgoing within the next 3 months, even if you typically aren't. We also have nurture. There's that nature, nurture energy here. It's like you're watering your garden. You're not just planting your seeds, you're watching them grow. Like the new growth in a plant. Like if you ever have a little plant and you start seeing a new little plant forming from that, I'm getting a little bit of that. We have flow. Inflow with money and flow. I love this energy of like things just happening and you going along with it. I'm also getting Pocahontas vibes, like the Disney movie Pocahontas, just around the river bend. I get that imagery a lot in tarot, both from myself and from other tarot readers. And I'm talking like very different tarot readers that I'm sure have nothing to do with each other. So for a lot of you, that movie could be important. I know for me, it's one of my favorites, not just because, one, it's a beautiful movie too. And I know there's like negative things about it. I don't want to hear it. I'm talking about the spiritual side of it. I'm thinking of like Grandmother Willow and how she's a spirit guide to Pocahontas, and how I just love that. I love that vibe. Every rock and tree creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Like, I feel like that shaped my childhood for the better. We have desire. I wasn't gonna censor her, but she does have a little, I don't know if YouTube cares, but for a lot of you, you are getting what you want. You are getting... It's like if you made a wish list or if you made some sort of manifestation journal, you're finally seeing the results of that. And it's almost to the point where like the universe may bring you too much of it. Mind, yeah. Let's get more cards. So the next 3 months, absolute abundance, but in a way that feels natural. For some of you, maybe it's already happened and this is just continuing into the next 3 months. We have vitality, the sun. You're also going to be regaining more energy. So for those of you who have been feeling either energetically low or like you've been exhausted more than usual, I feel like that's going to change. The next 3 months are going to bring more vitality, regardless of how much sun you actually get, because I said this is timeless, but at the point of me recording this, we're heading into the autumnal and then winter seasons, which means less sun. However, I've noticed that me personally, I get more energy during that time of the year because the sun isn't beating down on me. Where I live, the sun is brutal. And then we have growth, spiral. Yes, lots of growth. I'm hearing exponential growth. That could be monetary, or that could be, again, more in terms of your life or in terms of your own inner development. Let's get one more card. We have creativity. I'm getting another card because like I think 3 piles have gotten this card already. So either I'm not shuffling well enough or it's just going to be like a main theme for everybody. We have mystery. I'm hearing that song Mysteries of Love by, I think it's Sufjan Stevens. So for a lot of you, I feel like you're heading into a very abundant energy within the next 3 months. It's like whatever you put in, you're going to get out. So it's a great time to start either building upon something that you've been wanting to create. I'm thinking of like saving up money for something big, like a big purchase or a big move or something important, maybe even like a big trip. It's a great time to start investing as well, because whatever you invest, I see it growing exponentially. This is not professional advice, nor am I trying to tell you to, put your money into something that you don't want. But if you've been getting that hint already, or if you already know you're going to do that, this is just confirmation of that. But I feel like the next 3 months, it's going to be there's just a lot of growth. I keep seeing nature. I keep seeing a garden. I'm seeing the seasons, but how every season brings about some sort of growth. Even when you cut back, it's like it's going to grow back. Like kind of like when you cut your hair and it grows back thicker or fuller or in a different way, trimming a plant so that it can have a new little growth. I keep seeing that. It's readjusting to where you need to readjust. So for a lot of you, I do feel like we're talking finances, because maybe you do want to save up for something. So this would be like budgeting, readjusting where you need to spend, cutting certain things, but also investing in other things. So maybe you're buying less junk food, but you're buying better, healthier food. Or this would be eating out less, but spending a little extra money on groceries to make food at home. So I feel like depending on what it is that you're doing, it's like you're readjusting. It's a readjustment, but it all adds to forward movement. But the only reason it comes out as the Knight of Pentacles, it's because, well, one, we're dealing with that which nourishes you, regardless of whether it's finance or health-wise. Maybe for some of you, you're also focusing on your health. And again, you're cutting back on things like sugar and junk food, but you're focusing more on veggies and fresh fruits or whatever it is that you need. It's slow growth, but it brings results, and long-lasting results. I feel like people are going to notice a shift in your energy. They're going to notice a shift in how you move even, because Pentacles energy is also like posture, especially with the Knight energy. Knights in general are like a lot of movement. So some of you could even be moving, walking a different way. It's like there's an extra bounce in your step. There's an extra oomph in your footsteps. I don't know. There's something here about exponential growth, and it feels natural, and it allows you to have like a safe state of mind. That's why the mind came through here. It's like you're no longer worrying about the next day or the day after or what the next month brings. You know that you can handle whatever life throws at you because you have everything else under control. Yeah, child. For some of you, especially if you have children, this could be the case. Or maybe for some of you, for those of you who are currently pregnant, maybe this is knowing that you have to readjust your life for that child. So that means taking down your game room and putting up a baby room, or adjusting your dietary needs for whatever nutrients you need as that baby grows. If your partner's the one having a kid, same thing. I feel like there's readjustments, but it's all for positivity. So I like it, and I feel like it comes at a pace that you're comfortable with. Pentacles energy doesn't like sudden change. But here it's like you're going at your own pace, therefore it's comfortable and you're able to ease into this new lifestyle or these new abundances maybe, that you're meant to have. So I do love this energy. It's absolute growth, especially for those of you who have been feeling a little stagnant or that life has been stagnating. Not anymore. This feels like a change of the seasons as well. Maybe this comes in conjunct with that. So I'm thinking of like the autumn or the spring seasons that inevitably bring change, because I feel like both of those seasons prepare you for like either the summer or the winter. So let's go ahead and get your monthly, month by month tarot. And I would like to thank you so much for clicking on this video. Hopefully you find something useful out of it. And do feel free to choose more than one pile. I don't know how many I'm gonna have yet. Maybe 4, maybe 5. So pile 4, I'm gonna get 1 card for each month. We have La Goose, which is emotions, feelings. It's water in general. Maybe you could be spending time near water. We have Jera, which I've always associated with success, but it could also be the seasons. Again, there's a seasonal change here. In fact, both of these runes make me think of changes, because didn't I bring up the song Right Around the River Bend? Just around the river bend. Just around the river bend. That is such a weird word to say. River bend. River bend. And then the third one we have Perthro, which is both looking into the future as well as taking chances on the future. But I'm not getting so much the taking chances and more on like knowing what you can place your bets on, knowing what you know. This is intuitive energy. Think of like knowing that something is going to go right because your intuition or your gut instinct is leading you that way. And back of the deck, we have, this is, I don't think I've seen this card in this deck. It's Tiwas, and it's got a little wolf. Again, have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? I think I need to see that movie. It's been calling me for a while. Maybe some of you like that movie as well. Again, I'm not saying it's a perfect movie at all, but like it is a beautiful movie. Just the colors. The colors of the wind. Okay, pile 4. Sorry, I keep being distracted. So the first month with La Goose here, we are focusing on emotions. We're focusing on the inner workings of ourselves. And I feel like you're going to be paying attention, especially a lot. I'm getting hormonal changes for some of you. Again, if you are currently pregnant or something like that, I feel like that could be important. Or anyone going through like a transition. Or even just like your time of the month, that month could be extra. It could be a bit much for whatever reason. Okay, so we have 10 of Pentacles and 3 of Swords. So there has been some sort of disappointment when it comes to your resources, or there could be like a need to give here. This would be like finding out that either you don't have enough for something or that you need to gain more. Or this could also be like not getting what you want in terms of either your ideal house, your ideal dwelling, or an ideal car. But regardless, you get what you need. It's just not what you expected. It's basically asking you to stay positive about something, even if it's not exactly what you wanted. In terms of relationships, we have the 7 of Swords. So for those of you who are currently not in a relationship, I would be careful with the things people are telling you. I'm getting more about your person, but it could also be your person. There's something about like gossip and things that it's hearsay, he said, she said kind of energy here. Or somebody here is just not being completely upfront with you. I hesitate to say honest because it could be honest, but maybe they're excluding certain facts so that they don't have to lie about them. And then for finances and career, career. We have Libra, Justice. I would be careful with whatever you're signing. I would be careful in the workplace about what it is that you're agreeing to, because Justice reverse makes me think that somebody here is trying to not be fair to you or is trying to get away with something that would get them in trouble. I don't know if it's like something personal. I doubt it, but even if it is, both my ears started ringing as soon as I said that. So for some of you, it might be personal. But for others of you, I feel like if it's not, it's probably not personal. This person just doesn't know how to do their job. I'm getting a little bit of that. So do be careful. It doesn't even have to be that serious. I feel like somebody here is just like, oh, I didn't know you were supposed to do XYZ. Maybe they did, or maybe they should have looked into it a little bit more, because this would be like an administration kind of issue, or whoever's in charge of like things like your payroll or scheduling, something administrative that I feel like a lot of you are not responsible for. Somebody here is trying to pretend that they don't know what they're doing. But the truth is, I think they get paid enough to do that. You know, I feel like if that's their job, maybe they should look into it. I don't know why I got that. That felt a little aggressive, but I feel like Spirit just wants you to watch out. Okay, the second month. I think the second month, you're finally going to be feeling those seasonal changes. You're going to be feeling the change of something. We have the 10 of Wands. Yeah, you're feeling the burn. I'm hearing you're feeling the crunch. You're feeling the burn. It's like it's go time. You can't ignore it, because the 10 of Wands, I love that it has a Saturn and Sagittarius, but it makes me think of like, you know, when you go to the gym and maybe at first it's easy, or at first you don't feel anything. It's when you finally start feeling sore from a workout. I don't know, maybe that's the wrong, because not everybody gets like that, but I'm a very stretchy person. Like, I do a lot of yoga. It's like when you finally start feeling the burn. I keep hearing that. You finally start feeling the hit, or something is noticeable and you can't not ignore it. Or sorry, you can't ignore it. For relationships, we have the King of Wands. For a lot of you, this could be somebody new, someone large and in charge coming into your life who's very interested. They make the initial move, they show interest, and this is very much a person. It could be a friend too. This could be a friend just like bursting down your door and saying, hey, let's go do something. But for a lot of you, this is going to be a romantic interest, especially for my singles, which majority of you are single. This would be a new person coming in wanting to treat you out to things. They could be a little controlling, but I feel like you're going to like that, at least at first, because they make plans. They say where you're going to go. They're going to take care of the bill. Like, this is definitely someone who allows you to be in your feminine energy, should you want to be in your feminine energy. For some of you, I can tell maybe this is not your thing, but for others of you, this might be really refreshing, because it's like, oh, finally, somebody putting in effort, because the King of Wands is nothing if not the king of effort as well. If you already have a partner, this is just your partner stepping up to the plate and doing the things they need to do. Maybe finally for some of you. Let's go ahead and get your finances / career for the second month. We have the Page of Swords. New energy. I like this. You could be starting a new job that month. You could be starting a new position. There is a lot of questions, a lot of simple questions I'm hearing. So yeah, it gives me new energy. Maybe you're starting a new job where you have to ask basic things like, where's the bathroom? You know, but it's also great for networking. If it's a good month for meeting new people, if you need to hire somebody new, or if you need to collaborate with somebody new. Lots of back and forth, lots of engagement in this second month for sure. Like, you're not going to be bored at all, because there's people coming through to help out. I'm also getting with the Page of Swords a lot of communication. Again, it's going to be very basic communication, but this is how you can gauge whether somebody is good at what they do or not. It's kind of like when people ask good questions, you know they're going to be a good employee. Or when you ask the right questions and they answer you well, you know they're going to be a good employer. I'm getting a little bit of that. So it's testing the waters through communication in the workspace. This could also be a client for a lot of you. This would be like a client who actually knows how to either what they're doing or how to handle things. This is not a client that you have to take through baby steps. But even if you did, like they kind of know a lot more than you would expect them to, which I like for you, pile 2. And then the last month, the third month, the visionary, future thinking forward movement kind of month. I like this energy. I don't know what's going on in this pile, but I love it. Okay, we have the Hanged Man and the King of Pentacles. So one way to see this is there's somebody who's been like in your life for a long time. You're finally seeing them in a different way. The King of Pentacles, this could be your employer. Sometimes I get this as like the boss card, because they're the ones with the money handing it out to you. Sometimes it's fatherly energy as well. Specifically if like you had a father or mother in like her very masculine energy, who's really good with finances, resources, or just nurtures you physically in some way. But this is you kind of changing your mind about that or seeing them in a different light. And why that is, I'm not sure. Maybe you're stepping into this King of Pentacles energy and you never thought that you would, but I do see that. It's kind of like something that has been either very comfortable or very familiar to you is suddenly shown in a different light. So let's move on to love and relationships for the third month. I keep hearing the month of October for some of you. That could be an important month. Like I said, I'm recording this like in September. So for me, this would be October, November, December. And oddly enough, we have those numbers here, 10, 11, 12. But for some of you, October could be important. Okay, so we have strength and we have the Three of Pentacles. Ooh, so, and interestingly enough, this card does say love, which I don't always associate strength with, the strength card with love. I associate it with overcoming hurdles and obstacles. And next to the Three of Pentacles, this would be more your friend group than anything, or your community. I feel like you're overcoming certain, it's like certain struggles that you may have had with socialization or with people. I feel like you're overcoming those. For those of you who are like prone to social anxiety, I feel like you're overcoming that this month, which is great because I feel like, let's say when it comes to being online, you're okay with talking to people. But when it comes to face-to-face, it's a whole different ball game. So I'm getting something like that where you overcome the face-to-face part. Not saying that you're going to be 100% comfortable with it, but like you overcome certain things here. Believe it or not, I used to be I still am kind of a quiet person. I'd go to parties and not talk to anybody, but I'd be, enjoying the vibe. I'd just be chilling out, watching people do dumb things, hearing conversations, and maybe spitting a word here or there whenever it was needed, but I wouldn't really conversate. And sometimes I'm still like that, but now I'm a lot more social than I used to be, for sure. So I'm getting a little bit of that. It's like stepping out of your comfort zone when it comes to your community, your friend group. And of course, this could also be romantic relationships for a lot of you, especially with this King of Wands here. I feel like this person really kind of boosts your ego or confidence, or they help you overcome that. This person could be a Leo. I'm just not thinking of that. Also, for some of you, you could be finding love in the workplace, or like a flirtation or something like that. Only if you're into that and only if it's appropriate. Every time I think of that, though, the song by Rihanna, I Found Love in a Hopeless Place. Because for a lot of people, work is a hopeless place, let's face it. So I feel like anytime I think of a workplace romance, that's like my theme song for it. We fell in love in a hopeless place. So take that as it resonates. But if not, this is just you overcoming some sort of social barrier, or even finding the right people, or feeling comfortable with like the right people. Let's get your career and finance for that third month. Okay. We have the Two of Pentacles. So this is more finances than career. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of abundance within the next 3 months for you. So make sure that you're budgeting. Make sure that you're leveling the scales here. The Two of Pentacles would be like not just budgeting, but also making sure you're paying off what you need to pay off, taking care of your bills and debts first, and then focusing on fun money, on the little gifts and treats you can give yourself here. Especially, like I said, if this is like towards the end of the year for some of you and you're thinking about a particular gift, or maybe a holiday, or like a vacation kind of holiday as well, that was coming through. Because I started hearing the jet blue, is that what it's called? The meme? Like you can get away and whatever. And then, darling, hold my hand. I don't know why I was hearing that. So some of you could be planning a trip that last month, but make sure you're paying all your bills first. Make sure that all your bills are accounted for before you do that. And maybe you're paying off the whole trip so you don't have to think about it once you get there. I'm seeing a lot of that lately. That's been a lot of financial advice being given to me, is pay off something before you get there so you don't have to worry about that money. That's only for those of you for who that applies, or for whom that is available, of course. But overall, great energy for the next 3 months. We also have the Eight of Cups. I love this card. Look at that. Look at that planet. I love it. It's not Neptune per se. It's like a combination of Neptune and Saturn because this is Saturn and Pisces. I am getting something that started in August could be important, or even over the summer, July and August. But I'm getting a lot of you kind of, I don't want to say it's ignoring your feelings, but it is a little bit of being emotionally numbing yourself to something or being emotionally distant. I wouldn't call it emotional unavailability either, but it feels like it. So just make sure you're checking in with yourself, because I've noticed there are almost no cups in this spread. So make sure you're taking care of your emotions. We all have them, and we're all meant to nurture them in our own way. But with that said, let's move on to your last card. Your final piece of advice here, my beautiful pile 4. I am more than my struggles. Yes, you're not really struggling these next 3 months, though if you are, you're being given solutions almost instantaneously. There is nothing here you can't solve. Not only that, but people are going to be seeing, like, sometimes people don't know what people are going through, and that's a blessing in disguise, because that means that they would never guess the struggles you're going through, and all they see is this beautiful sparkling energy to you, this beautiful light being. A lot of you, you're looking cozy, you're looking amazing. Some of you got some great legs, because this froggy for sure has some great legs. But this is where I leave it here, pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the flower agate palm stone, then we have a reading here for you about your next 3 months. I almost didn't do this pile, but I was called to do it because I had to redo another pile, and while I was here, I was like, screw it, might as well do a 5th pile, why not? So let's go ahead and get your oracles. We're going to see the overall themes of the next 3 months for you, and then we're going to go individually into each month to see what that month has to bring. This can be at any time. This is meant to be a timeless reading, so it could either be the month you're in right now plus the next 2, or it could be the next 3. Take it as it resonates. But for you, we have the 9 of Earth, 9 of Pentacles, Venus and Virgo. So if you are going into a Venus and Virgo season, that could be important. If not, this could be just you standing. I'm hearing dancing on my own. So there's a very independent energy to you. This is you self-sufficient, you paying for yourself. This is very much independent energy, whatever this is. But I feel like you're enjoying it. It's like you take yourself out, you treat yourself out to nice things. Especially those of you who are getting like a bonus, or if you've gotten a job where like your pay has gone up significantly, this is you going out, because I'm literally seeing like you walking through a mall, going to like a really cute cafe or a little cute restaurant, and then going to like either an expensive store or like a designer store and buying something nice, or whatever your version of that is. It doesn't have to be that exactly, especially those of you who are not into designer brands. But I was shown specifically a particular reel that I saw this morning about it's funny, the content creator wasn't even really about fashion, but they went to Italy and they bought some cute, some nice Italian designer clothing, which I guess went in Rome. They weren't in Rome though. They were in Milan. so pile 5. I do love Rome though. Regardless, a lot of you, you're treating yourself out the next 3 months. We have love. There's a lot of self-love in this particular pile. We have desire. Ooh. We have freedom. So I feel like this one might be very romance or like relationship based. So if that's not resonating, you don't have to take that. But for a lot of you, it's like you're relearning what love is, particularly when it comes to loving yourself or loving others, like your family and friends, platonic love. But for a lot of you, it's this freedom that you have and the unknown. I wonder if some of you will find love in an unexpected way or unexpected places within the next 3 months. And back of the deck, trust, which is also like, honestly, the majority of these cards do symbolize love in some way. Even this freedom card. Freedom, I'm seeing as like the freedom to love yourself or the freedom to do what you want. I say this because, especially for those of you who have Venus in like a really independent sign, I'm thinking of like Venus in Sagittarius, Venus in Aries, or Venus in Aquarius. These are all very independent signs, or even like Venus in Gemini. Sometimes getting out of a relationship can be just as satisfying as getting into one because of the freedom that you're afforded once you're no longer paired to somebody. So some of you could be exploring that type of love and learning to trust yourself. Maybe learning to trust somebody else here as well, but I'm getting like redefining what romance or self-love means to you. We have space. Some of you might be desiring freedom, and maybe that's one way that you show your self-love. We have you are magic. Bravely market your magic. And fill your cup with sacred giggles. I really like this energy. It's really fun. So if you are dating right now, people are going to see your magic is undeniable, even to the point where your laugh feels like a little love spell. Like, so I'm seeing somebody hear you laugh or watching you giggle and they just fall in love with everything about you, whether it's romantic or platonic. Because I'm even seeing like a passerby, like just hearing you giggle, even if it's something like, I don't know, on your phone or something, like you laugh and they're just like, oh my gosh, that person is so happy and so joyous and they giggle so cutely. I love them. Like, I'm getting that kind of energy. It's really cute. We have primordial water. Water could be of importance. I'm hearing specifically if you work with water, I'm thinking of like moon water, or for those of you who do spell work, any type of specific water. Maybe Florida water, or like I work a lot with lime and lemon water. I don't know what the magical properties of those are, but I drink it a lot because it's my thing. Feminine rose. Ooh, rose petals could be important as well. I haven't done a rose petal reading in a long time, and I don't know when the next one will be, but I'm getting that if you work with roses especially, this could bring in a lot of this self-love and feminine or romantic energy that maybe you've been wanting. And then back of the deck, we have independence again. Some of you are learning to love your independence, your freedom, this wild aspect of yourself that I think within relationships is hard to find, or you're getting into a relationship that gives you enough freedom to love yourself as much as it gives you enough freedom to love somebody else, which is so interesting. It definitely does feel like a self-love journey for these next 3 months that is going to be a big emphasis for you, for a lot of you. But I'm loving the energy here. Also, lots of rose imagery, because I've just realized that she's got like 9 roses here. There's a rose in this one. You chose the flower agate, and yeah, beautiful feminine energy coming in for you. So if you're attracted to feminines, this could be like you attract somebody who's very feminine, or if you are feminine or want to express your more feminine side, that's going to be coming through within the next 3 months. So with that said, and if that's resonating with you, we can go ahead and move on to the next 3 months for you, pile 5. You know what's funny? The number 5 makes me think of a rose, because when I was learning how to I used to be a cake decorator, and one thing they teach you is how to pipe roses, like buttercream roses. And there's a specific pattern for the rose petals. It's 3, 5, 7. So you start with like a little cone in the middle, and then you do 3 petals around it. Then you do 5. And I would actually stop at 5 because I would try to make mine. Mine always came out big, so I would try to like downsize mine or make them fit my cake. So to me, the number 5 actually signifies roses. Also, it makes me think of the month of May, which is when roses bloom. May and June is when roses bloom. I think June is its official month, but May, a Taurus, May, roses, that makes sense to me. So take that as it resonates. So pile 5, we're gonna get into your 3 months. I'm gonna get 1 rune card for each month, and then we're gonna expand on that with the tarot. So the first month we have Gebel, which has this beautiful heart, and Gebel means exchange. So there could be an exchange of something in this first month. Also, there's no rose imagery in this. Well, yeah, there's no real rose imagery in this deck, but I think heart comes the closest to it. The next month is Dagaz, which I want to say means dawn or daylight, but I've also associated with like the home life. And then the last month is Nautis. So let's go ahead and start with this first month. So we're going to do general love relationships and then career romance. Sorry, career finance. My goodness, some of you really have love on the brain this next 3 months. I don't know if somebody has already come in and that's just what you're thinking about, or maybe you're just like really primed and prepped for love, which is all fun and good, of course. So we have the 5 of Swords reversed. Something is not as bad as it seems. I feel like there's something here that you learn to resolve. Even if you had to lose something along the way, something is not as it seems. So it ends up being better than you realized. In relationships, we have the 5 of Wands. Again, the number 5 is coming through a lot. So if you already have somebody, I feel like you're going to be having a lot of, I mean, you could take this several ways. To me, it's physical tension, and you can resolve that however you want. Sometimes this is through games. I'm thinking of like board games, video games. I'm thinking of like witty banter. I'm thinking of something like that. But basically it's kind of like foreplay for a lot of you. And for others of you, you could be finding somebody new to be exchanging energy with. So take that as it resonates. But I do see like for those of you who want that, it can be a very spicy month for sure. And then for others of you, if you already have a partner, you're going to be very active with them. If you already have a partner, it's going to be a great month to like just get your stuff going. If you know, I feel like it's going to be a great month for a lot of you. In career and finance, we have the the Chariot. So with the Chariot, I do feel like in career, you're definitely gaining momentum. You could be getting a promotion, or at the very least, learning the skills that will put you in motion for a promotion. I never realized that the word motion was in promotion. Oh, wow. Okay. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a great month in order to advance you in terms of career. In finances, it's also a great time to be thinking about the future. So the second month with Dagas. We have the Ace of Pentacles. This is kind of a warning to not... I feel like nothing is set in stone, so don't plan for the long term. Think more short term. I feel like something here you may think is long term, but it's actually not going to last as long as you think. This is more in general. This could have to do with a home. So if you recently moved into an apartment, I feel like it could be, think shorter term than longer term for sure. Or if you're staying somewhere, it's basically temporary energy. I'm going to read from the book for Dagas as well. We have Dawn, Light, Hope, and Awakening. Day is the God's messenger. The light of the gods grant ecstasy, good hope, and boon to all. So the daytime could be getting shorter as well. So if you're doing anything that requires you to have a lot of time in your day, I wouldn't commit to it right away. So think temporary in general. When it comes to your love and relationships, though, I keep thinking, every time I see this, it's a little leaf, but I keep thinking it's a piece of moldavite, which if you've ever touched moldavite, or if you've ever been near moldavite and you're very sensitive to energy, it's very, it's got a lot of energy. I have a little bit of it in my room, like I have it off to the side. I can't keep it near me when I'm doing these readings because I'm already a little quote, quote, spazzy when I do these readings sometimes because of the energy flowing through me. Also because people have commented that I come off as very anxious or whatever. So I try to keep that on the other side of the room, or I keep it somewhere where I'm not, where I'm a little bit more grounded. So moldavite could be important for some of you this month. We have the 3 of Swords. You know what's weird? As I was shuffling, I kept getting this card a lot. So there could be some sort of impending, not heartbreak, but definitely a disappointment or a misunderstanding between you and somebody else. This would be like postponing something. This would mean like you don't get to see them as often. There's like a rift in a connection here. And maybe for some of you, it has to do with this not making any long-term plans. I feel like you may not be able to make long-term plans, especially if you already have someone. If you are not already in a relationship, if you're more single or casually seeing somebody, this would mean that you're reassessing how compatible you are or whether you can make things work out. But it's not necessarily a break, if you know what I mean. For career and finance, in the second month of the next 3 months, we have the King of Pentacles. So This is you stepping into a much more financially solid position. You could, like I said, you could get a promotion, you could get a raise, you could be learning the skills. This could also be you becoming your own boss, or you taking back control of your finances, whatever makes sense. So in terms of money, it's a great next 3 months so far, or next 2 months so far. But nothing long-term. Investments are not meant to be long-term, even in finances. However, you are gaining back control of your finances. And then for this last month with Naughties, Naughties is kind of like necessity, need. Think of like the Five of Pentacles, where something could be needed. In general, we have the Two of Wands. I feel like you're trying to make up a decision here. It's like you're trying to make plans, but nothing really seems to stick, or nothing really seems to be solid. This is Mars and Aries reversed, and Mars and Aries doesn't like to be indecisive. This is not an energy that enjoys indecisiveness or is natural in that. They like to make up their mind, and I feel like you're going to be at odds with yourself, or at odds with the powers that are about you making decisions, because I feel like you're going to want to make a decision, but you can't, because everything is in so much fluctuation. In love and relationships, ooh, interesting. We have Death and the Five of Cups. So for those of you, this next 3 months could be like, if you're already in a situationship kind of ordeal, I feel like you're going to be making up your mind about what it is that you both want. So, I mean, death doesn't necessarily have to be an ending, though it can be. Sometimes it's just taking it to the next level. However, with the Five of Cups here, this would mean that somebody here is really in their thoughts and feelings regarding it. Lots of Scorpio energy, which is very transformative. This could also be someone wanting to come through with some sort of, it's almost giving judgment card energy. Like someone wants to come through with something that would transform or change the both of your lives. So this would be like somebody admitting feelings, or somebody wondering if they want to admit feelings, or if they want to like lock it down. So I do feel like there's a huge transformative energy. It's like make it or break it kind of energy in the 3rd month, which you're meant to find out on your own, because I think everybody here is in different energies. If you already have a partner and you know it's something solid, this would again make or break energy. So if this means that you both move in together, or move somewhere else, or someone takes a job that's going to change things, like I feel like there's a big pivotal change in terms of love and relationships in this 3rd month. And it may even be due to necessity. Like I said, if somebody here needs to make more money and they take a job that is halfway across the country, that's going to impact both your lives. And then for the final card of career and finance, we have the Ten of Swords. Things get better. Things get better. So the 3rd month, I feel like you're wallowing in a lot of like negative news, negative energy, not of your own, and you're trying your best, but the good news is that month is probably going to be the worst month you will have in a long time, or everything that has already happened will happen, so it's only up from here in this month, because I feel like regardless, everything is just different. It could also be the world turning upside down, or like just not knowing what to do, a little bit of helplessness, a little bit of feeling that like you just don't know where things are going. And back of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a necessity here for something to change, or something that needs to change. Also, the number 5 has, all the 5 cards have come through. The 5 of every suit has come through. So the number 5 is important for somebody here. Either you're a life path 5, the month of May could be important, or maybe somebody was born in May. That would be Taurus, Taurus and Gemini energy. Whichever makes more sense. Or if you needed a number to know, then I guess 5 is it, because you're also the pile 5 here, pile 5. So with that said, let's get your closing advice, your little froggy cards. I feel like for a lot of you, this entire reading might have been about a relationship, and you wanted to know like how it would be the next 3 months, because I almost made this about romance, but I decided to keep it neutral because not everybody cares about romance. And yet my romance videos will get the most views, so you know. I can't please everybody, but I tried. So pile 5, your final advice, we have, I will prioritize myself when I need to. I need to say that again. I will prioritize myself when I need to. So make sure you're prioritizing yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Even if you are in a relationship or even if you're not, make sure that you're treating yourself out to something amazing. Date yourself the way that you would expect somebody to date yourself. You know, you set the standards for how you are for how you expect to be treated. So don't be afraid of that. But this is where I leave it, pile 5. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.